Hey everybody, I told you I would be back with more content. I'm going to start this haul off with the very few manga that I purchased in the past 5 months. Because it's just so little, I might as well just get it over with and put it in this haul. No particular order when I bought them, I have no idea. Some of these books, I don't even remember what they're about. The first two manga I have here are Volume 1 and Volume 2 of My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi. And I have yet to read these, but I did watch the first episode of the anime on Hulu and really enjoyed it. So I will be continuing it, just I have not been in a manga mood. I have volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4 of One Punch Man, story by One and art by Yusuke Murata. And I freaking love this manga! I need volumes 5 and 6, I think are out right now. Those will be purchased very soon, and I will be doing a discussion on One Punch Man because it needs a discussion. For some reason, it really wanted to make me rewatch Dragon Ball Z, which I did. I watched only part of it. I watched like the last half of the Majin Buu saga, and then I started watching the Dragon Ball Super series, and then I kind of like gave up on it. But I did watch the entire season of One Punch Man, and it's freaking amazeballs. And for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, it is on Hulu. You should go watch it. He's still okay. So I have 14 mass paperback books here to go through. A lot of these I purchased a while back, and I don't remember what they're about, so I'm not really going to explain them. I'm just going to like show you what I got, and if I do have anything to say about it, obviously I'll say, but at this point, I don't really remember half of these, so. The first one I have here is The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison, and I, like a year ago, saw this like going through the rounds on the booktube community, so I was really interested in getting it. All I know is that it is about a half-goblin prince who didn't know he was a prince until later. I think like the king is killed or something, and he has to go through some trials and become the emperor, and people shun him because he is half-goblin. And yeah, that's really all I know about this story. Next one I got is Dragonflight by Anne McCaffrey. This is the first book in the Dragon Riders of Pern, which I've heard a lot about. There's a lot of books in this series, I believe. There's like 14. I don't know if they're all related to one another, or if they're all just like, if they're really like a series, or if they're just companions of one another. But yes, I do know that this is the first in this series, companion novels, whatever it's planning on being, and I'm interested. Dragons, and women who ride dragons. The next one I got is a sequel, and that is The Blasted Lands by James A. Moore, and I still don't remember what the first book was about. It's the sequel to this one, Seven Forges. I don't know, but I needed the second book because I do eventually want to read this. I keep looking at it and thinking about Game of Thrones, even though it really has nothing to do with Game of Thrones, but like every time I see it, I think of Game of Thrones. Don't know. So I bought the sequel. It came in the mail like this, with this tear in it though. I'm pretty sad. Speaking of sequels, I also got Memories of Ice by Steven Erikson, which is the third book in the Tales of the Malazan Book of the Fallen series. And I have not started this series, but I'm slowly like collecting all of the books so that eventually when I do start the series, which I know I'm going to like, I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling, a very strong feeling that I'm going to like this series. So I'm going ahead and collecting it because it just probably bothers me the most when I read a book that I absolutely love that I've only purchased the first book of, because I was like, I don't know if I'll like this, I'm only going to get the first book, and then you read the first book, and then you're like, damn it, I really loved this book, and now I have to go drive all the way to the bookstore, and for me, the bookstores are pretty close, but still, I'm a lazy person that likes to sit indoors and do nothing, so if I have to get in my car to go somewhere, that's no bueno. No idea what this next one is about, so I can't really explain it. It just looked really cool, the cover looked really cool, and that is The Last Stormlord by Glenda Lark, and again, I have no idea. Another sequel I got is Vision in Silver by Anne Bishop. I have not continued the series. I have only read the first one, Written in Red. I read it from a library copy, so I was waiting to purchase it before I continued the series. I didn't want to get the rest of the series in the library for some reason, because I was like, I love this series enough that I want to purchase it. And my brain works wherein if I read most of it from the library, then I won't end up buying it on my shelf, because I'll be like, oh, I already read it, I'll purchase that later. I'd rather purchase this other book that I haven't read. And now I have all 3 of these, and I think the 4th one just came out, but it's in hardback. Might wait for that one to come out in paperback before I pick this one back up. Plus, this is urban fantasy, and I'm not quite in the mood for some urban fantasy right now, so this will be later. Books. Falling. Speaking of urban fantasy, I also purchased Moon Called and Bloodbound by Patricia Briggs. This is the first and second book in the Mercy Thompson novels. Again, urban fantasy. It's got werewolves, it's got vampires, I think. It's got other magical creatures like that, and I'm very, very interested in starting this series. One of my friends absolutely loves Patricia Briggs and reads like everything by her, so I want to start this series eventually when I get in the mood for reading more urban fantasy. So this next series haven't started it yet. I just thought the covers looked really cool, and all I know is that it's fantasy. But again, the cover art is really beautiful, and I wanted to have it for myself. That is the Book of the Order series by Philippa Ballantine. So we have Book 1, Geist, Book 2, Spectre, Book 3, Wraith, and Book 4, Harbinger. Just look at these beautiful covers. Why would you not want to purchase them? The last 2 books I have are from the same author, but they're 2 different series, and they are Tad Williams books. The first one being The Dragonbone Chair, which is the first book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series trilogy. I have no idea how many books are in the series. I think it's 3. Epic high fantasy. That's all I know. The other one I have is Otherland, Volume 1 of the City of Golden Shadow, and I know nothing about this either. Humongous book. Who knows when I'll get to it. It's a chunker. So that is all the books in part 1 of a 2-haul series. The other half is actually a little bit smaller than this haul, so stay tuned for part 2.